Hey, it's John Lee Dumas of EO Fire, and it's The Entrepreneurial You, the show for dedicated and passionate Caribbean entrepreneurs seeking daily inspiration, brought to you by author, speaker, and award-winning entrepreneur Heneka Watkis-Porter. You must be prepared to ignite.
Coming up on this episode of The Entrepreneurial You.
One of the best ways that I've learned to add value is to be a great listener, because your clients will many times tell you exactly what they need. And for many of us, we have to learn to develop that skill of listening. We think we're great listeners, but we miss it. We miss the mark a lot of times. And when we can truly add value to our clients, not in just, how we serve them and how we treat them, but when we really pay attention to what their needs are and serving them at that level, that is a method of adding value that is truly priceless.
Hi, I'm Heneka Watkis-Porter, your inspirational leader and host of the Entrepreneurial You podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Jamaica Stock Exchange. And now let's go to today's episode. My guest on episode 81 of the Entrepreneurial You podcast is known as the Riot starter. She's an innovative, insightful change agent who understands the concept of adding value to others. A national and international speaker, trainer, author, podcaster, mindset coach, and consultant. She is the founder and driving force behind the results-driven philosophy and the Riot Starter movement, which consists of programs, products, retreats, and trainings. She is inspirational, transformational, and your partner for individual and organizational success. What a pleasure it is to finally welcome Dr. Taunya Lowe to the Entrepreneurial You podcast. Welcome, Taunya.
Thank you so much. It is such a pleasure to be here with you today. I am so excited and so ready to start a riot.
And yes, that's exactly what we're going to do, right? Because we have the Riot starter right here. All right. Firstly, do you have any Jamaican connections?
You know what? I think I do. Well, of course, I have you.
Exactly.
And, I was in Jamaica, I think 3-4 years ago on a mission trip. And there were some people that are they're in another program that I'm in, and they live there. And so yeah. So I think I do, but that's about it. I need to get there.
Yes,
I need to get there.
Again, yeah, you need to. So when you come back, just hook me up, okay?
I will. Definitely. I may need to come back and we plan something.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, we'll make something happen too.
So we're going to start a riot, right? And we're going to be talking about discussing about the importance of value to others. But yes. First of all, I want to know how it is that you, Dr. Lowe, add value to other persons.
If I may, I'd like to just kind of set the tone with when we say that I'm a riot starter, what that means, so that people understand that in a context. And I think that'll also answer your question. And so I wrote a book about 4 or 5 years ago called Wanna Start a Riot? Change. Affirmations, confirmations, and prayers. And whenever you want to do better, be better, grow better, and change, you feel like you're in a riot. And so you feel that way. Many people feel that way because someone is telling them, don't quit your job. Don't start a business. Don't go back to school. Don't go visit that different country. Don't join that organization. And it's all coming at you from a variety of people who are really not trying to stop you from growing, but people who they feel like they're trying to protect you. And so for many women, we do nothing and we die with our dreams, our hopes, our wishes inside of us. And so I say, start the riot anyway for your life, your business, and your career, but most importantly, your legacy. And so you ask the question, how do I add value? I add value to individuals and organizations by helping them to start those riots, helping them to get their companies performing at a high level, helping business owners remove their mindset blocks, remove their mind monkeys, remove their gremlins, remove those things that keep them from operating at a high vibration. I also add value by encouraging and motivating people when they're in that place of stuckness, like a word that I made up, right? When you're in that place of stuckness, because stuckness is really sticky. And so when you're in that place, sometimes you need someone to come and just share a word with you, share some encouragement with you. And so I add value in that way as well. Of course, as you mentioned, a speaker, trainer, consultant. And of course, I add value in those ways also. But I believe that my greatest gift in helping, again, individuals and organizations get to their very next level is by providing that encouragement, helping them get unstuck, and helping them see that they can follow their dreams, whatever those dreams are.
And of course, you are training people to start that riot. Of course, you have started that riot within your own self. What are some of the things that you've been up to? I mean, lately I've seen that you're doing TED Talk. Of course, that's on my bucket list, and so many amazing things. Just tell me some of the things, some of the dreams that you've pursued, and what's your story really? Because everybody has one. What's yours?
My story, it's very different. I don't have a I slept in my car story. I don't have a pull out the violin story, but my story is one of perseverance. I am no stranger to those blocks being thrown in your way when you're trying to get something done, when you're trying to reach a goal. And so whether it was trying to graduate from college, whether it was working on a job where it was very toxic and having to deal with my aging parents, or if it was starting a business and starting my business and making mistakes, because, we don't talk about that. We always talk about the good stuff, but I got some ugly stuff too. So persevering through all of that, I think that's the thread of that weaves all of my different stories together. And so when I think about perseverance in starting a riot, you've got to have some grit there. You've got to say that this is what I want, and you have to be determined to go after it. So I knew that when I was in college that I wanted to be a consultant before I even knew what a consultant was or what they did. Someone came and spoke to us at a college career day. And I was like, I want to do that because I enjoy speaking. My mother was an English teacher, so I've been speaking ever since I was like 5 years old. So I knew that I wanted to teach people and help them be better. And so everything that I did, every job that I had prepared me for where I am today. Even my very first job, working at McDonald's, learning about customer service, that really helped me to where I am today. So that's kind of the short story of my story. And I always tell folks, I don't have a I slept in my car story, but I have a story of perseverance, a story of overcoming a lot of challenges, whether they were employment challenges, business challenges, family challenges, education challenges, because I think a lot of times that we minimize those challenges, but those are the things that can make or break us and keep us from moving forward into our destiny, moving forward into that greatness that we were all born to experience.
Can you describe one of those moments that you've had that was like a valley experience? One of those moments that you felt like perhaps giving up, but yet you stuck by it. Describe one of those moments if you ever had one.
Yes, indeed. Oh my God. So yeah, probably, let's see how long, maybe about 6, maybe 7 years ago, when I started my business. Unlike a lot of people, when they start their business, they kind of go through challenges financially in the beginning stages. Well, I didn't. I started my business with my computer and my knowledge and my resources. Okay. And for maybe those first 4.5 years, 4.5 years of me being full time, I did very well financially. And what I did was I went out and I helped programs who received government funding, help them keep their funding. I would do audits for them. And I had a client, I never had anyone not pay me. But I had a client, their contract total may have been $60,000, and they paid about half of their contract, but they didn't pay the rest of it. And so I tried to work with them. And I had a team that needed to be paid. I had my own bills that needed to be paid. And it really shook me. It really shook me. I lost over $30,000, had to end up going to court and everything. And what I learned from that experience, once I was able to finish licking my wounds and beating myself up, I'm a leader. How did I do this? I'm a CEO. How did I let this happen? Well, it happened because we can only take ourselves so far. And so I'd been, really doing really well, but there were things I didn't know. There were systems I didn't have in place. And so what I learned was I didn't know what I didn't know. I needed systems. I needed support. And then after that, I asked myself, what do I need to do? So I need to get a coach. I need to get a mentor. I need to get someone to help me close the gap between what I don't know and what I need to know so that this doesn't happen again. And then from that, I asked myself, what am I going to create? And so from there, the whole Riot Starter movement was born, which started with the symposium, the book and the symposium and the courses and the workshops. And so even though that was a dark place for me, going back to perseverance, I couldn't stay there long. I had to eat. I had to pay my people. So I could not stay there long. I couldn't allow myself to wallow in pity. I had to say, what do I need to learn? Because there's the learning experience in this. And so for your listeners, I want you to know that there are going to be things that are going to happen in business, in life, in your career that are going to be ugly. And you're going to think that you're the only one, but you're not the only one. And there's a lesson, a growth lesson in that experience for you. If I never lost that money, I wouldn't be doing some of the things at the level that I'm doing them now.
With every challenge that we face, we need to ask ourselves a question. What is the lesson in this for me? What is a teachable moment? Because there's always a lesson to be learned. And I don't believe, and I'm sure you don't either, there's anything as failure. They're all providing themselves and proving themselves to be stepping stones to learning so that the next time around, we do better.
Ask yourself, what did I learn? And then ask yourself, what are you going to do? Because you got to get into action. I could have sat around on the floor with my dog crying every day. What am I going to do? But I had to get into action once I came up with the list of what did I learn. And then for me, I asked myself, what will I create? What will I create? What will I do with this amazing opportunity that didn't feel like an opportunity then? Like I can talk about it now, but I couldn't talk about it then without crying, right? Mm-hmm. So now it's a lesson to help other people.
Indeed, indeed. This is such a riveting conversation, but I'm going to have to take a break right here. And when we come back, we're going to just finish off on the importance of adding value to others. And then we go into a moment of the importance of having the right mindset, right? So let's take a break. This review comes from BB1888. That's username. I guess this was a BlackBerry pin. BB1888 out of Australia. And this review says, John Lee Dumas involved in your podcast. Very cool. excellent niche podcast. Well done. Very informative and easy to listen to. So thank you very much for this review coming all the way out of Australia. And guess what? Keep those reviews coming because you too could very well hear your review being read live on the Entrepreneurial You podcast. I appreciate you for listening. I thank you so much. And I want you to keep them coming.
Attention women, accelerate your leadership by attending LeaderCast Women. Via live stream, hear from expert negotiator Molly Fletcher, former president of Reebok Marilyn Tam, and other internationally accomplished women on October 12th at the Knutsford Court Hotel. LeaderCast Women is the largest one-day leadership event for women in the world. Brought to you by the Entrepreneurial You in association with the RGR Gleaner Communications Group. For tickets, please call 876-849-2571 or visit Heneka Watkis-Porter.com.
Get noticed, make a great first impression, and build trust with potential customers and clients. StudioCraft Professional Headshots helps business leaders and entrepreneurs just like you look remarkably confident at their studio in Kingston, Jamaica. Visit studiocraftja.com today and enter offer code TEY20 when booking to receive a 20% discount on your first professional headshot session. StudioCraft Professional Headshots, helping professionals look remarkable. Do you have a product or service to put out to the world, but you don't know where to begin? Do you have an idea for a blog, but think that having a website is just way too expensive? Do you want to start a website, but don't know where to begin? If you answered yes to any of these questions, visit HenekaWatkis-Porter.com and sign up to HostGator Web Hosting. For as little as $2.75 per month, you can have the perfect option for your small site or blog. You'll have user-friendly building tools and unlimited domains. Go to HenekaWatkis-Porter.com and sign up now for your perfect website. Welcome back. And my guest today, if you're just joining me, is Dr. Taunya Lowe. She is the Riot starter. She's podcaster, mindset coach, consultant, author, trainer, international and national speaker. She is a fabulous, dynamic woman. She is powerful, amazing. And we're just talking about her journey and how it is that she adds value to others. And now we're going to continue just talking about the importance of thinking about adding value first, as opposed to selling yourself and selling products and services. Let's continue our conversation about adding value, Dr. Lowe.
Yes. So, we were talking about adding value and how I add value. I'd like to also mention that, adding value, if you're an entrepreneur, one of the best ways that I've learned to add value is to be a great listener. Being a great listener, because your clients will many times tell you exactly what they need. And for many of us, we have to learn to develop that skill of listening. We think we're great listeners, but we miss it. We miss the mark a lot of times. And when we can truly add value to our clients, not in just, how we serve them and how we treat them, but when we really, really pay attention to what their needs are and serving them at that level, that is a method of adding value that is truly priceless. Because I know many of the clients and the companies that I work with, I just want to sit down with them and find out, hey, what's going on? I see these things are happening. Tell me from your perspective. And I let them talk. And while they're talking, I'm soaking it all in and I'm thinking about how I can serve them, how I can make their life better. And I do that by listening to them and by asking key questions. And so I can think about a client that I had once that said no other vendor has ever come in and just let us explain what our issues are. They always come in with a solution to fix it, but it's not the solution for our company. And so when they told me that, I added that as a part of my process whenever I'm talking to a potential client is go in, never be in so much of a hurry where I can't listen effectively, because the message of what they really need is in what they share with you. And you've got to sharpen your listening skills for that. And that's a great way to add value, because you can take that skill set and add value in so many ways. It truly is. Listening is the gift that keeps on giving.
Listening is a gift that keeps on giving. That's so profound. No, it seems as if as humans, we are naturally me-centered. Everybody's so tuned into what's in it for me, and that station WIIFM. What's in it for me?
Yes.
With that, with that reality, how can we move from that place of me-centeredness into having a mindset that is required to give and to learn to listen? What does it require for a mindset shift?
I do a lot of work with people around mindset, being I want to say a former therapist, but I don't think you ever stop being a therapist or counselor. But I work with a lot of executives and entrepreneurs on their mindset. And so when we talk about mindset is how we think, how we feel, and those are the words that we use, and then how we execute. And so when we talk about making a change, in order to, my mindset has to be a mindset of giving, you have to first start with an assessment of who you are. Who are you? Who are you showing up as? What are your values? What are your core individual values? Not how much money do I need to make this week or this month, but who am I as a person? And I believe that when we operate from that place of truly doing an assessment of who I am, and then tweaking those areas that may not be as strong. I mentioned listening earlier. If you listen, then you can truly shift from me. This is what I came in to sell you, to a you. This is how I want to serve you. And so you shift from selling to serving because you're listening.
I love that. Selling to serving because you're listening.
Yes. And then I think the other thing about preparing your mindset is that understanding it's not all about you. It's not all about you. Actually, it's not about you at all. You're the vehicle to deliver the service. You're the vehicle to deliver the service, and you just actually get a payment for it, right? But it's not about you. And so if we look at how can I make my clients shine bright? How can I get my clients to the next level? That's the mindset. And when we make those shifts in making it about us, then it allows us to truly serve our clients at a different level, because we want to take them to the moon. We don't just want to go to the bank. We want to take our clients to the moon. It all starts with that self-assessment. Who am I? Who am I really? What is my why? Why did I get into this business? And it doesn't mean that everyone, I like to believe that we can all become heart-centered entrepreneurs, serving from our place of compassion in our heart. But some folks just aren't built that way. If that's you, then you need to really do an assessment and ask yourself, is this helping me or hurting me in business? Many times people will say, well, that's just who I am. Your clients need to know, they don't just need to know that part of you. They need to know the person that you're going to help them become. So if you come in and you have to show your authenticity, you have to be real, but you also have to be compassionate. You can't be an angry person. And so again, I always go back to assessment. The hardest person to lead is ourselves, and the hardest person to sell is yourself. So if you're not buying what you're selling, then you don't need to be selling it.
If you're not buying what you're selling, you don't need to be selling. Okay, we are coming down. We've been having a great conversation, Dr. Taunya. We're going to be coming down now. Just any final thoughts that you want to share, and after you've done that, then please, by all means, go ahead and share with our listeners how they might get in touch with you, in addition to that freebie that you talked to me off air that you have for our audience. So go right ahead.
Yes. So I just want to say, as it relates to mindset and adding value, I can't stress enough, go back and ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And how can I serve people? That should be the question that you ask yourself every day. How can I serve my clients and my potential clients at a greater level? I can be found. I'd love for you all to connect with me on social media. I'm Dr. Taunya Lowe on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can also visit my website at drtaunyalowe.com, and that's Dr. DrTaunya Lowe, LOWE.com, where you can also connect with me in social media there. And you can also pick up a lovely free gift that I have for you. It's called the Allowing Mindset, And it's an audio book, an audio and an ebook. We're always talking about the hustle, but this talks about how we can relax and allow opportunities to come to us, and then we can do the work.
Isn't it a beautiful thing when you just relax and allow opportunities to come rather than hustling? I mean, for a long time, I know we finished our conversation, right? But for a long time, I just thought that, you need to be hustling and going on and, and just going off the things. But when you're relaxed, it's like God allows everything through the universe to come right to you.
Exactly.
Profound.
Exactly.
Profound.
Yes. But that's a mindset shift, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's mindset.
Yeah, indeed it is. And it took a while for me to get to this point. But once I'm here, everything changes. So, Dr. Taunya Lowe, it has been my absolute pleasure having you on. Now, no conversation could go on and on. But of course, we end right here. And maybe, perhaps, we pick up another time. Who knows, right?
Yes. Maybe next time I'll be in Jamaica with you.
Yeah. So thank you so much. And we're going to keep talking.
Sounds good.
We have come to the end of another great episode of the Entrepreneur You podcast. Remember to subscribe in Apple Podcasts and download all the episodes that you would have missed if you have not already subscribed and downloaded the episodes, and play them to the end as well, because good stuff is always at the end too. So do that, as well as go and leave a rate and review right now. I'd appreciate that. It helps a lot because I put a lot of effort into creating this free content, and it does help when I know that it is of significant value to you. So show your love by going to Apple Podcasts and just leave a rate and review. And when you leave that review, do send me an email at henekawatkisporter@gmail.com, because I'd love to be able to read them in an upcoming episode. And if I'm not notified, I won't know it's there, because unless you go into all the different stores in Apple, there is no way that I can actually know that a review was left or a current review was left. So it's important that when you leave your review, you send me an email, let me know about it, so I can go look for it and read it live on an episode of the Entrepreneur You podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Heneka Watkis-Porter. Remember, you were born to win, but to be a winner, you must plan to win, prepare to win, and expect to win. Walk good.